Hello and a very warm welcome to Game On. I'm Neha Bharadwaj Alter, and today we have a power-packed show for you. There is an in-depth coverage of the ruling by the European Court of Justice on the European Soccer League. We have reactions from all the stakeholders at the centre of that story. But let's begin with India's successful white ball tour of South Africa. India clinched only their second ODI series win on South African soil after winning the third and the final match by 78 runs on Thursday at Paarl. A victory set up by Sanju Samson's maiden 100. Put into bat, India made a total of 296 for 8 wickets thanks to Samson, who scored 108 off 114 balls, his first century in just his 14th ODI innings. He came into bat at number 3 and saw India's score slip to 101 for 3 when stand-in skipper Rahul departed and set about establishing a platform from where Rinku Singh in his second ODI was able to hit a sparkling 38 from 27 deliveries. Tilak Verma was the only other Indian batter to cross 50 with his 52 taking 85 balls. In pursuit of a target of 297, South Africa lost a couple of early wickets, but they looked on track at 141 for 2 with skipper Aiden Markram on 36 and opener Tony De Zorzi having gotten himself another 50. But India hit back wonderfully via their 2 spinners and Arshdeep Singh, who took 4 wickets to clinch victory and the Player of the Series award for himself. The Proteas were bowled out for 218 in the 46th over. So, this was a big occasion for Sanju Samson, the 29-year-old who first played for India in 2014, but who had to wait until 2021 for his first ODI. In 14 innings since his debut 2.5 years ago, Samson has made 510 runs at an average of over 56 and with a strike rate of 99.60 with 350s and now 100. Samson has batted up and down the order in his 14 ODI innings, and given a shot at number 3 yesterday, he delivered the goods in a must-win match. And with India in early trouble, how far his ODI century gets Samson, of course, remains to be seen, given how often the BCCI selectors have picked Rahul and Ishan Kishan in the 1 year that Rishabh Pant has been away. But hopefully for Samson and his fans, yesterday's 100 keeps him in the reckoning for more opportunities. So another player then who will be happy with his performance is Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep began the 3-match series with 5 wickets and ended it with a 4-wicket haul, thus being named Player of the Series for a total of 10 wickets at an average of just 9.50 and with a terrific economy rate of 3.51. The left-armer had not played a single list day match since his last ODI in November of 2022 and was given an opportunity with India's World Cup pace trio rested for this series. Given that he is a fringe player in ODIs, how well Arshdeep has performed in South Africa should pitchfork him into the reckoning for more chances when India next play 50-over cricket in about 8 months, because the team sorely lacks a left-arm pacer in the ODI format. Okay, moving on to this other bit of news. Virat Kohli, he's come back home from South Africa to be with his family, but will join the test squad before the Boxing Day test in Centurion. Kohli did not take part in the 3-day intra-squad match, which is the only red ball outing for some of the senior players, including captain Rohit Sharma and Jasprit Bumrah before the 2-test series. Now, according to a report in Crickbuzz, Kohli had to miss the practice game and he had to fly back home due to an emergency. The report didn't mention the exact nature of the emergency. In fact, we tried to find out as well from our sources, and the only thing we got is that he is going to be back before the first test and that he has left due to personal reasons. Now, Ruturaj Gaikwad, meanwhile, had incurred a finger injury during the second ODI match against South Africa. He's been ruled out of the 2 tests as well. He's been released from the squad. He's expected to reach India by Saturday. Okay, moving on to Australian cricket. An Australian batter, Usman Khawaja, says the black armband that he wore during the first test against Pakistan was for personal bereavement and not for Gaza civilians. This after Khawaja was reprimanded by the ICC for sporting the black armband. They found him in breach of its clothing and equipment regulation. Khawaja, though, is free to play the second test that starts on 26th of December. However, he faces further sanctions if he wears an armband again or makes an on-field statement in support of Palestinians without the permission of the ICC and Cricket Australia. In reply now, Khawaja says he will contest the charge, but will not wear the armband during the second test. And when ICC asked him what it was for, he told them it was for personal bereavement and not for anything else. Before the first test, Khawaja had intended to wear shoes with words "all lives are equal" in support of the people in Gaza, but he decided against it after ICC informed him that he would breach their rules. Under ICC's regulations, players cannot display messages of political, religious or racial causes during international matches. This is what he had to say.
Dealing with the ICC, I don't think being reprimanded for wearing a black armband, which the ICC asked me on day 2 what it was for, I told it was for a personal bereavement. I never ever stated it was for anything else. Shoes were a different matter. I'm happy to say that. But the armband made no sense to me. I followed all the regulations, the past precedents. Guys have put stickers on their bats, names on their shoes, done all sorts of things in the past without ICC approval and never been reprimanded. I respect what the ICC and the rules and regulations they have. I just asked, and I will be asking them and contesting that they make it fair and equitable for everyone and they have consistency in how they officiate. That's all I asked for. I'm not wearing the armband again. As I said to the ICC, the armband was for a personal bereavement. So the armband was different to my shoes. My shoes were very obvious, and at the end of the day, I didn't wear the shoes. I taped them up in respect for the rules and procedures, and I left it at that. I don't have any agendas other than trying to shine a light on what I feel really passionately, really strongly about. I'm trying to do it in the most respectful way as possible. What I wrote in my shoes was really, I had thought about it for a while, what I was going to write. I made sure that I didn't want to segregate different parts of the population, religious beliefs, communities, hence why I've kept religion out of this. I wanted to be really broad and open-minded speaking because I'm talking about humanitarian issues. I'm talking about Article 1 of the Unified Declaration of Human Rights. That is literally the crux of it. The reason I'm doing it is because it hit me hard. You know, I told Nick literally just this morning that when I'm looking at my Instagram and I'm seeing kids, innocent kids, videos of them dying, passing away, that's what's hit me the hardest.
Okay, moving on, the biggest news about Gujarat Titans that came even before the IPL auction when they traded their captain Hardik Pandya to Mumbai Indians in an all-cash deal. What did the Gujarat Titans coach Ashish Nehra think about the whole deal? Watch this story. Hardik Pandya has been the biggest news in the run-up to the Indian Premier League 2024 auction. First for his surprise move from Gujarat Titans to Mumbai Indians, and then for replacing Rohit Sharma as the MI skipper. The Gujarat camp did try to fill the void at the mini-auction on Tuesday. The team management feels it will be hard to find the replacement for the man who would led them to 2 successive finals, including the title triumph on their IPL debut a year ago.
I don't think you can find a replacement for someone like Hardik Pandya that easily. Hardik showed his desire to go back to Mumbai Indians. We respected that. It will be difficult to make up for someone like him who has that much talent and that much of experience.
Shah Rukh Khan got a 7 crore 40 lakh rupee deal as Gujarat Titans were hard-pressed to find an all-rounder. Even though the team is well aware that to fill Pandya's shoes will be too big an ask for anyone. Titans were engaged in an intense bidding war with KKR for Mitchell Starc, who eventually went to Kolkata Knight Riders for 24 crore and 75 lakh rupees. Despite having lost the left-arm pacer, the Gujarat camp justifies the all-time high IPL bid for him.
There is nothing like overpriced in the IPL. We did not get him despite bidding extensively. He is taken by another team. That indicates that there was an interest in the start. Everyone knows what he can do. He is a proven player and we needed a fast bowler. When you have funds, teams do have different strategies.
Young Shubman Gill will now lead the team. Can Gujarat make it to the 3rd successive final under the new skipper? That's the real challenge.
IPL is a challenge for everyone, even for the proven captains. We have seen how Gill has shaped up in last 3-4 years. He's just 24-25, but has a matured head on his shoulder. We are there to support him. We believe in him. We are very confident that Gill is the right guy for us.
Titans have spent 30 crore and 30 lakh rupees to rope in 8 players, including Spencer Johnson, Shah Rukh Khan and Umesh Yadav, who came for nearly 6 crore rupees. The list also has uncapped wicketkeeper Robin Mintz, uncapped bowlers in Sushant Mishra and Kartik Tyagi, a value for money buy Azmatullah Omarzai and Manav Sutar for his base price of 20 lakh rupees. Ashish Nehra believes all the bases have been covered. If something remains missing, in his own words, he can't do much about that.
Now on to the big news from football, where European Court of Justice have given a big boost to the rebel European Super League. ECJ has said that banning clubs from joining was unlawful and that UEFA and FIFA are abusing a dominant position. But it also added that it did not mean that the breakaway league will be necessarily approved. Watch this report.
European soccer's governing body, UEFA, and its global counterpart, FIFA, breached EU law by preventing the formation of a Super League, the European Court of Justice ruled on Thursday. It's a landmark ruling that could change the way soccer is run. Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus, plus 9 other European major clubs, announced the breakaway European Super League, or ESL, in April 2021. But the move to form the closed league collapsed within 48 hours after an outcry from fans, governments and players. That forced Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, AC Milan, Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid to pull out. In its ruling, the EU's top court said FIFA and UEFA abused their dominant position by forbidding clubs to compete in an ESL. However, that project may still not be approved, as the court did not rule on it specifically. The verdict means that European clubs can join another continental league without the threat of sanctions. UEFA has organised the pan-European competitions for nearly 70 years and sees the Super League project as a significant threat to the lucrative Champions League, for which teams qualify on merit. Sports development company A22 assisted with creating the ESL. Its CEO, Bernd Reichart, proposed another new league in the wake of the court's verdict, featuring 64 men's and 32 women's teams.
That football is free. Free from the monopoly of UEFA, free to pursue the best ideas without fear of sanctions, and under our proposal, free viewing of all live matches.
Although the initial Super League project was a closed competition, the new one would see clubs participate based on sporting merit, with no permanent members. The clubs would also stay in their respective domestic leagues. However, there is no guarantee England's Premier League clubs would sign up for the new competition, after the league announced any clubs that do face a 30-point deduction and a £25 million fine. Barcelona president Joan Laporta announced his support for the project in the face of opposition from Spain's La Liga.
Barca's position on the issue of a new European League format is not intended to go against the Spanish League or against the national leagues in general. On the contrary, with better European competition and more resources for clubs, national leagues will be more balanced and competitive.
As soon as the verdict came out, the CEO of sports development company A22 and the man behind ESL, Bernd Reichart, said he was looking forward to a new era in European football, adding that the new league would win over fans by giving them a tournament that was more competitive. And as you just heard there, that it would be free to view on television via a streaming platform called Unify. Listen into what he had to say.
Well, it's a big satisfaction, I think, for us, but also for football and most importantly for fans around the world. It's a satisfaction to see that the monopoly fall and there's a way into a better future for European football. and we try to pursue that together with all the stakeholders of the football family. I think we have to look forward now. This is a new era which just started today. Don't look back, look forward, and we made another proposal. It's a proposal which was actually forged and generated with the input of a lot of clubs and stakeholders. It's still open to be shaped. We invite everybody to continue to contribute, but it has to be, in the end, and it will be, a proposal which will be liked by fans and supported by clubs. The new proposal for every football fan will first and foremost consist in better, more attractive, more intense, competitive matches from the first match day to the last. It will be amazing. It will be exciting, and it will be of a global appeal as football has never displayed before. That's, for me, the most emotional and most fan-centric aspect. And then watching that for free, that is what we're going to implement, and this is what makes this proposal so fan-centric and so attractive to every fan. Well, we already changed gears when we announced our 10 principles in February last year. There we declared our commitment to the openness of the competition, that the meritocratic aspect is a cornerstone of the new competition, and we believe that it is really strengthening clubs, it will strengthen the ecosystem, it will make football more sustainable, and it make it free, accessible and affordable for fans.
Okay, before we go any further, you can dive into unparalleled financial wisdom with Money9, the ultimate app to decode finance and real-time pocket cash. Get a hold of your financial journey starting now.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
Coming back to the European Super League, Bernd Rijkaard also announced that A22 has plans for a new competition that would feature 64 men's teams and 32 women's teams. The new league, proposed to be competed during midweek, can be a threat to UEFA's Champions League tournament.
A22 wants to create the world's most exciting club football competition. Our proposal aims to ensure competitive tension throughout the year. It's an open system featuring promotion and relegation.
Well, first we spoke to investors who support the idea, who support the vision, and to help us to convince clubs to go that journey with us by providing security of the first years of revenues they expect and they depend upon. It's a fair point for them to see their revenues and also their solidarity guaranteed for the first years. But then the platform will reach billions of fans. There's no sport in the world who can equal the power of sport, of football with that regard. And so being the platform who has the potential to address billions of fans, we will find ways to monetize and we will find ways to create value out of such a direct-to-fan platform.
League stage and a knockout stage. The European Men's Super League will have 64 participating clubs.
We will definitely need partnerships in order to get it going, but in the end it will be an owned and operated platform who will rely also on the help of distribution and of partnerships. We want to be on all devices all around the world, and therefore of course we need partnership and we need technology support, but streaming has gone a long way and we know that it can be done.
The league consists of 16 clubs divided into 2 groups of 8. It's this
very easy. We are not a breakaway league. We are completely compatible with the calendar of domestic leagues. We are connected to domestic leagues. We are an open meritocratic competition who will be nurtured with access from domestic leagues. And whatever it takes to get approval from wherever, and I think the European Court of Justice is a good place to start, we will comply. We will be based in Europe and of course committed to the rule of law. and whatever legislation is needed or applied to get approval. Yes.
14 matches per club each season, 7 at home, 7 away.
We have investors who back us on the plan to go and launch Unify, our direct-to-fan streaming service, and then we will come into a period where the platform is up and running, and where the billions and billions of fans who join the platform will help us to generate the revenues necessary and the demand of the clubs, because 100% of the net income of Unify will be distributed to the participating clubs.
Proposal is built around sporting merit. Promotion, relegation, and exit from the competition happen each season.
We have been open for a constructive dialogue all these last 18 months, where we reached out to literally every stakeholder in Europe, and we will continue to do so.
The same system applies in the Gold League. The last club of each group will be relegated and replaced by Blue League finalists.
Now we are constantly in touch with clubs, but now dropping names of specific clubs would actually divide football. We don't want to have a confrontation between different projects. We want to unite football, and at a given stage we will communicate who is working with us alongside on our proposal.
This system ensures mobility within and across leagues.
In a way, it's also telling that some publicly listed companies in the football industry seem to have a positive reaction on what we propose today, and since I heard that markets never lie, I take that as an encouragement.
Is completely compatible with domestic leagues. This proposed format for football will guarantee openness.
As soon as possible. We will not hurry into anything, as soon as possible, but from now on the work starts, the dialogue starts, and the work on Unify starts.
Okay, now how big a problem is this for UEFA? UEFA President Alexander Seferin has said that there is a stark contrast between the media reports and the European Court of Justice verdict. He also said that the judgment was positive and it embraced key features of the European football pyramid.
It's fair to say that the press release issued by the ECJ and subsequent media generation does not fully reflect the court's findings. In fact, there is a stark contrast between the press statement and the judgment. The judgment is actually positive as it embraces the key features of the European football pyramid: open competitions, sporting merit, and solidarity. And you have in this press conference its governing body and all recognized stakeholders, all. So the ECJ accepts that UEFA maintains its role as organizing and authorizing body. Now, so-called European Super League central attack on our dual status was therefore clearly rejected. The ECJ certainly has not given the green light nor approved projects like the so-called Super League. We actually welcome the clarity that the ECJ have delivered today, including the endorsement of a pre-authorization system and UEFA's dual role as organizing and authorizing body. Now, the fact is, so-called European Super League has never requested authorization for its projects. Whatever they say differently is not true. Now, we were aware that our authorization system was imperfect, and we started to work on that in 2021 and concluded it in 2022 with the decision of Executive Committee of UEFA. And we are confident that these new rules are fully in line with the ECJ's judgment. It's without any doubt important to stress once again that the ECJ has endorsed the European sports model based on sporting merit, which can be guaranteed only if all teams can enjoy a certain level of equal opportunity. It is also important to note that clubs from many countries, for example, England, Italy, France, are prevented from joining a project which is outside the system. Or you are part of the system or you're not part of the system, but it's your choice. We never said that anybody can't go without out of the system. But some would like to be out of the system but play in the system, and it's hard to understand actually what they mean. And of course, UEFA is free to organize its own competitions and to exclusively sell the commercial rights. So any competition, must fit within the system and comply with our new authorization rules, amongst other things, require any new competition to respect sporting merit, international match calendar, solidarity, etc. So those rules also protect UEFA Champions Club competitions. I'm so happy that we saw the presentation and that it's clear now that they are offering a close competition, which we knew all the time, but they tried to present publicly it's not true. I've seen today the press release of English supporters who call it the Zombie League. They didn't use that. They used Blue League and some other colors as well.
Okay, we've got to wrap this up, but Lionel Messi fans, mark your calendars. He will launch his first full Major League Soccer campaign on 21st of February when Inter Miami kick off the 2024 regular season at home with a match against Real Salt Lake. Messi had signed a 2.5-year contract with Miami, and they will be thrown back in the spotlight 4 days later when Miami visit LA Galaxy in a match that will highlight a full slate of opening week action. The World Cup champion and a record 8-time Ballon d'Or winner has made an immediate impact with Miami both on and off the field since his arrival. The Argentine forward scored a stoppage time winner in his Miami debut and had 11 goals in 14 appearances across all competitions for the MLS side, while leading the club to their first ever trophy by winning the League's Cup final. Messi's arrival was also credited with a surge in ticket prices, merchandise and subscriptions to Apple TV's MLS Season Pass, which streams live matches. And Miami have said that season tickets for their 2024 campaign are already sold out. With that, it's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed this bulletin. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
There's certainly a wall of capital coming into the clean tech, climate tech space, not just in India, but across the world.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
The scale of the attack was something that we were surprised at. David Hadley was a double agent. The Americans did not want him to be fully exposed, so all that he probably shared with the Americans was not shared with us in terms of intelligence. If we had that, I'm sure that we would have been able to deal with the situation far better.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी 9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
very warm welcome to the special edition of Game On. Today we have a trailblazer in the studio who not only became the first Indian-born player to be drafted into the National Basketball Association in 2015, he then changed his path